Once the corrugation starts, you know you have reached the outback proper. While heading north, we encounter wildlife and domesticated creatures alike roaming the bush. Ravenswood used to be a thriving gold mining town. The well-preserved building houses the post office and general store combined. A tour through the virtual ghost town reveals many of the structures dating back to the late 1800s. From the 48 hotels, just 2 remain, one of which is the Imperial. The flamboyant Edwardian-style mansion dominates the main street. Built of cedar and decorated with stained glass, the bar remains in its beautiful original style. Much of the furnishings have been retained as well. The comfortable bedrooms invite for an overnight stay. Fruit bats are also called flying foxes. They range in size from 5 cm to 35 cm and have excellent sight. Guinea fowl emit loud piercing calls when upset and act as good watchdogs. This is the very first time ever we spot deer in Queensland's hinterland. Townsville is the unofficial capital of North Queensland. Beech, palm trees and flowering shrubs spell tropics loud and clear. A welcome break from driving is a visit to Little Crystal Creek, north of Townsville. Milla Falls is one of the many beautiful waterfalls in the lush Atherton tablelands. Brush turkeys belong to a family of birds dating back 30 million years. Oncoming traffic on bull dust sections forces us to slow down or stop completely. Along Burke Developmental Road, we find several disused granite quarries. Nomadic bustards live in open woodland and savanna. After a few days driving dusty roads, it is nice to finally reach some water. On a hot day, it is very tempting to go swimming. However, crocodiles can be encountered several hundred kilometres inland. Magnetic anthills are typical to Australia. They are lined up in a north-south fashion, reflecting the Earth's magnetic field. We finally reach Hells Gate Roadhouse and urgently need to fill up. Especially around watercourses, large flocks of corellas tend to congregate and socialise. While camping on the Gilbert River, we have the pleasure of their noisy company. At dusk, a curious wallaby appears next to the camp. For another river crossing and the steep incline, the four-wheel drive is put to good use. The jabiru, or native stork, goes for a walk, and so do we. Karanbarini Conservation Reserve lies just off the Carpentaria Highway. An impressive series of sandstone spires is also called Lost City. The biggest surprise here is the waterhole full of lilies and waterfowl. After 50 metres long and with several trailers, road trains are an integral part of Australia's outback and cover huge distances. For millennia, native people have been backburning. The beneficial practice encourages new growth and revival of the bush. One of the most iconic watering holes in outback Australia must be Dally Water Pub. It has more rough Aussie charm than you can poke a stick at. A unique collection of all sorts of paraphernalia decorates both the ceiling and walls of the pub. We make it to Tennant Creek just in time to enjoy the annual Desert Harmony Festival. Besides colourful sculptures, yoga practice can be had. Around the campfire, haunting tunes of the Aboriginal singers match the general mood. A gate grants access to Davenport National Park, just 200 kilometres out of Tennant Creek. Unlike some of the bigger parks, it is one of the little-known jewels of Central Australia. A series of permanent water holes reflects the surrounding ancient rocks and magnificent trees. The water provides much-needed sustenance to all sorts of wildlife. No need to complicate things while out camping. Sweet potatoes and vegetables cooked in aluminium foil over hot ashes taste absolutely delicious. Devil's Marbles are one of the Northern Territory's geological wonders. Huge granite boulders have been formed by erosion over thousands of years. Ancient creation legends surrounding the rocks are a well-kept secret held by their traditional owners. A giant statue overlooks Aileron Roadhouse further south on the Stuart Highway. Alice Springs forms the beating heart of the Red Centre. Wing-shaped awnings add an interesting touch to the mall. The desert settlement offers everything any visitor may need and is the perfect starting point to explore the surrounding area. The modern town has both European and Aboriginal influence. We leave the many different birds behind and venture out again towards the Macdonald Ranges. Simpson's Gap, with its permanent waterhole, is one of the most spectacular gorges. Dwarfed by towering red cliffs reaching up into the sky, visitors can explore the gap at their own leisure. Western Arrernte people still use ochre from this dig, mainly for ceremonial purposes. It is integral to the Dreamtime stories, tales of creation and lore. Red ochre deposits often represent the blood of sacred ancestral beings. Palm Valley forms part of the remote Finke National Park. The 18-kilometre track to the campsite follows the bed of the Finke River and is limited to high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicles only. Many of the plant species here are rare and unique to this region. One of them is the red cabbage palm, which is believed to be a remnant of a prehistoric time. Australia's native dog, the dingo, is related to the wolf. Like them, they cannot bark, but will only howl. Another must-see for any visitor is Kings Canyon. The sheer walls of the canyon are crowned by rocky domes. The many species of birds rely heavily on water. The camel, however, can go without for a longer period of time. There are now over 1 million feral camels in Central Australia, and the numbers are growing. Uluru is more than just a rock. It is considered sacred by the indigenous people, with spirits of the ancestors living in many places. In 1873, Ernest Giles, the explorer, was the first white person to set eyes on the icons of the Red Centre. Just a short distance from Uluru are the 36 domes of the Olgas, or Kata Tjuta. Shortly after sunrise, we hit the road since it is still over 500 kilometres to Coober Pedy. Especially at dusk and dawn, animals tend to cross the road to get to water. What caused the caravan accident is not known, but the end result is certainly devastating. We are lucky to spot South Australia's emblem, the striking Sturt Desert Pea. Even before we reach Coober Pedy proper, we notice the hundreds of molehills or diggings throughout the landscape. The town is famous worldwide for its high quality of opal found here. More than half of the population lives in dugouts. The temperature in the underground hotel remains a pleasant 23 degrees all year round. During drought, farmers resort to the travelling stock routes, also called long paddock, to find fodder for their cattle. Further south we encounter more wildlife like big red kangaroos and the flightless emu. We take the opportunity for a walk in Mutawinji National Park near Broken Hill. Faint rock paintings can be found hidden in the cliff face. Feral goats compete with native marsupials for food and also cause considerable damage to the sensitive environment. Historic Silverton has been the scene for over 140 movies and commercials. A look-alike to the vehicles used in Mad Max is on display outside the pub. The local museum pays homage to the iconic movie with a lot of memorabilia on display. What is now a tiny settlement with about 40 inhabitants used to be a thriving mining town. Silver was discovered in 1880 and the place boomed almost overnight. In its heyday, it boasted a hospital, newspaper and even a stock exchange. Nowadays, the tourist trade and the local artists keep the place from becoming a ghost town. Just a few kilometres out of Broken Hill, the stunning Living Desert sculptures overlook the surrounding desert. In 1993, a group of 12 international artists created sculptures from local sandstone. For the next 2 months, they shaped the rock into some amazing shapes without using any power tools. Although hewn from the landscape, the sculptures remain very much part of the harsh environment. As the sun sets over Broken Hill, another trip through Australia's amazing outback comes to an end.